Silverback. Just waking up, baking up to Juice Radio. Kool-Aid in my cup. Check out my melody. Check out my melody. Y'all don't get it, forget it. What up, melody? Radio for indie or industry, R&B, EDM or MCs. Hip hop, send in your MP3s, EP singles or full CDs. Straight to rotation, cut loose. What's that radio station? The Juice. Hey, this is Kool-Aid. And when I'm in Minnesota, I listen to the radio station, The Juice. Like you should.
Akita. Woo. I put your face on a t-shirt. Did the motherfucking dash till my feet hurt. I fuck with Nas, I don't mean to brag, but all of my shit has been ether. Don't give me that weak sauce, I need a perk dick, I need a motherfucking pleaser. I need a nigga that's a top boss. Give me Louis bags that I can wear with my t-shirt. I got that hot sauce drip. I am that hot sauce bitch. Show me the cash, run me my money for. I pop your top off, slick. I've been that top dog sis. I've been the table for my kids. I'm feeding you bitches a bag lunch while I'm eating the top dog bitch. Pretty bitches love commas, but I don't need a ring, little nigga. I ain't popping pussy for the bag. I just said a dream, little nigga. It's a couple rules to the game. I give you 3, little nigga. Better make sure the bills paid, hair laid, and bring me to eat, little nigga. Feed me. You niggas is chicken, pollo. Roll a nigga up like a yo-yo. I make them jig like they dirty dancing. You niggas rapping that so-so. I used to eat top ramen. Now a bitch getting that fogo. Used to rap for like 20 people. Now I could blow down the whole show. Oh, you don't wanna pay the price? You want me to rap for the low-low? I told my people to tell your people there ain't no money, it's no show. I made a run to the bank. Did the race and I stuck in my lane. If I make a bop that make bitches pop, they always gon' ride on my wave. I put your face on a t-shirt. Did the motherfucking dash till my feet hurt. I fuck with Nas, I don't mean to brag, but all of my shit has been ether. Don't give me that weak sauce, I need a perk dick, I need a motherfucking pleaser. I need a nigga that's a top boss. Give me Louis bags that I can wear with my t-shirt. I got that hot sauce drip. I am that hot sauce bitch. Show me the cash, run me my money for. I pop your top off, slick. I've been that top dog sis. I've been the table for my kids. I'm feeding you bitches a bag lunch while I'm eating the top dog bitch.
Akita t-shirt right there on the Juice, y'all. Shout out to her, man. Dope ass fucking artist from Minnesota. Super dope. On fire right there. So what's up, y'all? Peace. Happy motherfucking Monday. Joyful Monday. Peace, love, and positive energy to you and yours. Don't mind the Come Build community tonight at 5 p.m. Y'all, I had to delete that comment, but for some reason it's still up here. So don't mind that. That's not tonight. That's actually Thursday nights for our village meetings. And that must have been from when I went live. Apparently it just put it on my next live too. Like I'm going to have to change that in the settings or something. So disregard that, y'all. Disregard that. Actually, I will say that we're looking for a spot to do some dope events. So if you or somebody you know has a spot we can do some dope events at, I'm looking for a chill vibe someplace that we can build community with or in, preferably 420 friendly. I am looking for, if you're kind of curious, like what is this space going to be holding? There will be like a few vendors there, some people who come in with like healing modalities, like muscle therapy, maybe some Reiki, some other energy healing, sound healing, whatever people have in the community that they would like to bring. Also looking for people who do spoken word, poetry, stuff like that. Yeah. So if you're somebody who has one of those forms of art as a skill, hit me up. If you know someone who has a space, or if you have a space that we could start hosting some events to build community and, you know what I'm saying, learn about each other, heal, do some dope shit together. Do some dope shit together. What the fuck? That's what we're here for. Let's do some dope shit together. So yeah, hit me up. I'm gonna actually real quick too. I want to give a shout out. It Takes a Village, you guys. It Takes a Village has some. Hang on, let me just go to it so I don't sound like a bubbling fool. It's called Nourish to Flourish. First of all, they're a nonprofit. It Takes a Village. If you remember, I had Miss D on the show a while back, and she was talking about this. Well, they've already done some of these classes and they've been really successful with them. So they're still doing the classes, but they're looking for people if they can donate anything to help out with supplies and things like that. So if that's something that you're into, feel free to hit up that right here. that thing. And do what you do. So, gratitude for that, y'all. Appreciate love y'all so much. I just wanted to give a shout out to them because I know that, it does take a village. And I mean, we're a village. That's why we're all connecting with one another, is creating community, creating village. And yeah, if you guys are into donating things like that, maybe you can even volunteer. If she's looking for volunteers, hit her up and see if there's anything else that you can help out with. If donating finances is not in your alley, but maybe you're someone who likes to donate your skills or whatever, because she does so they learn like about food, like health wise. They learn how to cook things. They learn how to grocery shop. They learn how to budget. They learn all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah, it's definitely an awesome program for the youth. And she takes in 12 kids. 12 students. And also she doesn't charge the students. So it's at no cost to the students, which is really dope. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Help out if you can. However you can. So how have y'all been this week? How has your week been going? What's going on? What's new? If you have a business that you would like to come on the show and talk about, hit me up. There is a ticker down below telling you how to get your information to me and what information is important. Same with if you're an artist, you make music. I would love to hear your music, possibly put it on the show. Down below, same thing. It asks you or tells you what is needed and how to get that music to me, the information to me. So I would love to hear your music. I'd love to hear about your business and help you be part of the community, get out here in the community and yeah, showcase you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Have you come on the show and tell us about your business yourself. That's the best way. Straight from the horse's mouth. You know what I mean? So yeah. Anyway, I'm grateful to have y'all here tonight. Peace and love to all of you out there in Juice Land. I hope you're having a wonderful evening and gratitude for coming with me and starting your week off here. Tonight I want to talk a little bit about, well, I guess my focus tonight is to talk about the power of choice. I feel like choice is one of those things it's almost as if people forget that they have a choice sometimes, because people will say things like, well, they made me, or I was forced to. And yeah, I mean, I get it. Some scenarios are pretty extreme. Like, okay, if we want to go super extreme, there are scenarios that it's like, yes, of course, if there's a gun to your head, like sometimes people will either go one of two ways, like go ahead and do what you're going to do, or do whatever the person asks them or is telling them to do that has the gun to their head. Right. There's extreme circumstances like that. But waiting out those extreme circumstances, and let's just talk on like more regular everyday types of scenarios and life happenings, okay? Because in all reality, I'm not saying that never happens to anyone, But what I'm saying is that that's not, thank goodness, a daily occurrence for everyone's life. Okay. Gratitude for that type of protection and love and peace in the world, because I would love, I would choose to focus on the positive aspects of the world whenever possible. I am also aware that the world is what it is. So, um, yes, those types of things do happen. But let's just focus on like more everyday scenarios where we're looking at like having the ability to make choice, right? So, the power of choice. Choice is extremely powerful because when you choose to consent to something and put your energy into something, you spark like you spark like a ripple effect. And it all starts within yourself when you made the choice to say, like, to say something, to do something, to not do something. All of these things create a spark of change in the world around you just simply by you making a choice. And that's really the power of choice, is that ripple effect that it has. You know, it allows things to change at any moment. So that's really choice. You can also have a different choice at any moment. So if you can change your opinion and change your choice at any moment, then you can change the outcome of life in any moment for yourself. And if you guys ever heard that, there's a song, I don't remember who sings it, but it's like, even if you have not made a choice, or even if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. It's like an old song. But that is so true, because even if you just sit still and do nothing, that's still a choice that you've made. We're always making choices in every single thing that we do. And even when we say something is forced on us, or like, well, they made me do it, you still made a choice to do or to say the thing yourself. And that's not something that you can really put on other people. Now, does that mean that sometimes your choices are not coerced? Yeah, of course. Sometimes the choices are coerced, and people have a way of knowing how to like sway you and push your buttons so that you will make the choices that they want you to make, because that is how powerful choice is, that people actually want to go out of their way to sway and persuade your choice and your power of choice. They want to take away, or what feels like they're taking away, your power of choice, so that you will make decisions how they want you to make decisions. For example, commercials. Commercials are like a huge example. That's such a good example of the power of choice being pressured and coerced, especially when children are involved, because children are much easier to coerce for obvious reasons. They have less experience, is really pretty much the main thing. Being a child isn't lack of knowledge, it's lack of experience. It's not because they're dumb, it's because they haven't learned anything yet. They haven't experienced anything yet. Well, I guess lack of knowledge, then yes, too, but that comes from lack of experience, was my point. Is it all boils down to they haven't done anything in the world yet, so they can't possibly have any experience or knowledge in these things yet. So children are very easy to coerce and persuade. So, like, for example, when your kids are watching TV and commercials come on, those commercials are purposely aimed at your children, because they know that if they can get your children to really want something, they can probably persuade your power of choice. And they do it to you as well. For example, let's say that you're a sports fan and you're watching a sports show, or listen to me, you can obviously tell I don't watch that shit. A sports show. You're watching a game, right? And or you could be watching one of those like after takes type shows. You're watching a game, and what is going to come on the screen? the commercials are all going to be revolved around things that they think you may be interested in simply based off the fact that you watch X sport. So you're going to see things like beer commercials because they assume that if you watch sports or if you enjoy sports, a lot of times there's a great chance that you may be a beer drinker. So you're going to see beer commercials, you're going to see travel commercials, like all these things that they think that they may be able to catch your attention and pull your power of choice, sway it one way or another. Soda commercials, all the things, right? Chip commercials, like snacky shit, pizza commercials, like they put all the DoorDash commercials. They put all the things right there that they know are going to, or they know could possibly, there's a great chance that you could be interested in some or all of these things. And they use psychology in situations like that to get your attention. So people on these boards that write these commercials are not just all regular Joes. Some of them are, they're different people from different walks of life, and some of them have education in psychology. They know how the human brain works. They know what will catch someone's attention. Excuse me, what will hold someone's attention. What is going to be what can they utilize to be a greater thing, or a greater chance that you will go out and purchase and or do the thing that they're trying to get you to do. They know how to do that type of stuff. So they utilize that at all costs, all the way down to the frequencies, the colors, the cadence, the word combinations, all of that stuff. So all of these things are done to persuade your choice. You guys, it is 11/17 is the date, and it is 7:17 on the clock right now. That's super dope. So anyways, they do all that just to persuade your choice. So if that right there lets you know just how powerful choice really is. And if big businesses and companies like that will go out of their way just to try to persuade your choice in one way or another. They don't even just give you the options like, hey, here's the options, you know what I mean? Just, whatever you think is going to be best. No, they literally try to persuade you into thinking that their thing is the best for you. And that's because of the power of choice. The power of choice is so powerful, in fact, that they give you the illusion of choice. And I'm going to give you a few examples actually, of where we're given the illusion of choice in the world on a daily basis. Things like when you go to certain restaurants or certain stores, or like department stores, certain pharmacies, things like that. Most of those businesses are actually owned by the same people. If you go and you say, who owns such and such store, right? You're going to find that a lot of times it's a company name. But then if you say, well, who owns that company? And you type that in, you're going to find that that company is owned typically by a conglomerate. So it's a whole bunch of people or small business or other branches of businesses that own this business. But when you start doing that with all businesses, and you start to see that all of these companies and all of these businesses actually are owned by like the same handful of people, maybe like 7 to 10 companies or conglomerates own all of these businesses and all of these companies, all these products. So the big box stores and all the little boxes that go inside of them. So when you start to see that, then you realize that you're being given the illusion of choice. There's not even really a choice there. Granted, you are getting different products, so to speak, different different smells and different packaging but in all reality, they're all coming from the same companies. So if you, for example, did not align with the values of a particular company, you will really have to do your research, because there's a really great chance that the people who own that particular company also own their competitor, quote unquote. They don't really have a whole lot of competitors. There's really not competitors. They're competing with themselves. So, and what's even crazier still is a lot of times they will put these stores right across the street from each other. They'll be right across the street from each other, and they're the competitor, but they're really not. So whether you walk in through these doors or those doors, you are still putting money into the same pockets. That's the illusion of choice. Again, just showing you how powerful your choice really is. Your choice is so powerful that they attempt to persuade you and take it from you every day in multiple ways. I really want you to realize how powerful your choice is, because when you realize how powerful your choice is, you begin to use it properly, and you can use it in a more powerful way. But you have to realize the power of your choice first. You have to first understand, understand, overstand that you have this power. Okay? Another illusion of choice that they give us, which, I mean, this may ruffle a few feathers, and honestly, I don't, respectfully, I don't give a fuck. But politics is another great way that they give the illusion of choice. They tell you that, this side feels this way and that side feels that way, and you're given these two people that you get to, vote between, and one of them is going to give you one outcome and the other one is going to give you a different outcome. First of all, they give you the illusion of choice and the fact that you think that you have a choice on who you're voting for, when they, first of all, they gave you those choices in the first place. You didn't even have a choice on who your choices were. um, and then still, greater still, is that they've already selected who they're going to put there anyways. They just want to give you the illusion of choice, because if they didn't give you any choice, people would lose their shit, right? You would think, anyways. God, I would fucking hope. But at this point in the game, the way things are looking, I can't even be completely sure about that. So they give you that illusion of choice, and then on top of that, like, even if you do choose one or the other, again, they've already selected who they're going to actually put as the face of, this current disgrace. Um, but your vote doesn't actually vote anyone in. So it doesn't count. It doesn't do anything. And even if it did, no matter who you vote for, you're voting for the same people. Because again, if you go and see who's the owner of the companies, you will find that they are both owned by the same company. And I'm using air quotes. So I hope that you understand what I'm saying is, um, it's what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think of the word I'm looking for, but it's 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 one of those things where you're trying to describe something, but you use something else to describe the things. What the fuck? Okay, so I can't word right now, but you do know what I'm talking about. So they give you the illusion of choice there as well, because no matter who you vote for, both of them are puppets pulled by strings from the same puppeteer. They're owned by the same company, so to speak. So that is just another illusion of choice, and that is one of the greatest illusions of choice that we are given. And again, it's because your choices are so powerful that they don't even want to actually give you the power of your own choice in that. Because a paradox, that works, yeah. I don't know the word I was trying to think of. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate you. Peace to you, man. Great to see you. um but so your choice is so extremely powerful that they want to have control of it at all costs, and every way and every angle that they possibly can, so much so that they will fear you into making choices, they will lie to you into making choices, they will persuade you into making choices, they will coerce you into making choices. And it's really really kind of sad because we recently went through a whole era in time, the C word that they call, but that is now an era in time. It's going to be in the history books as like the Ice Age, the CV-19 age. Like what? Okay. So we just went through something there where people felt like they didn't have a choice. Do you see? Where they felt like they were forced into certain scenarios, like they were forced to do things that they didn't want to do. And even there, which again, this may be a trigger warning, and I mean no disrespect when I say this, but we all had a choice. We all had a choice. Was the choice easy? Fuck no. The choice is not always easy. And you know what? Sometimes the best choice is the uneasiest choice, sadly. Sometimes the best choice is the easiest choice. And ultimately, sometimes the best choice feels like it's not the easiest choice, but that ends up being a whole lot easier in the end. I guess that's why it ended up that way. But we all had a choice during that time. And unfortunately, they knew how to utilize the impact of fear to coerce and persuade people's choices. But again, that just goes to show you how powerful your choice is. Now, I want you guys to take a moment and look at the things that we saw happen during the CV-19 era. We literally saw them attempt to tell people when they can and cannot leave their home, what type of equipment they needed to be wearing when they left their home. They even tried to get people to wear certain equipment inside their homes with their own families. This is the type of This is just shows you how much they tried to stifle and suffocate. No pun intended, but definitely fucking real. Your choices in every way possible. They wanted you to not even be able to go inside stores without certain things, or certain things you couldn't go to visit places, you couldn't do certain things, you couldn't do it. There was so many things they were trying to stop people from doing if they didn't comply with what they wanted people to do. You see? And they used fear to coerce and persuade people's choices, which was not fair. It's not fair at all. And for some people, I think it was very difficult for them to see, because fear, again, psychologists know how fear affects the human psyche, the human brain, the human's actions and choices. They knew what they were doing by fearing so many people, by making people have this like fear of that they could hurt other people, that they would die if they didn't follow these certain things that they wanted you to do, without me having to say them, because I'm not trying to get in trouble for saying things that they like to take. They have taken down. Yeah, I speak as freely as I possibly can. To be honest with you, I speak pretty freely in all of my avenues of social media, TikToks, Facebook, Snapchat for sure, because Snapchat doesn't care. They just collect all the data and just store it away. You know what I mean? So if they ever need to have a case against you, I guess they've got it all recorded. But everybody else kind of lets me speak pretty freely for the most part. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I do know that there are certain things that I have to be mindful of not saying, because I have had stuff removed, videos and short videos and stuff like that, off of social media and off YouTube for things like medical misinformation and blah, blah, blah. So I do have a tendency to try to not say certain words if at all possible. And I think that all of you out there are intelligent people and can completely understand what I'm saying. So that is where they try to persuade us at all times. And as you can see, they did a really, really, really good job of using that power of fear to coerce and persuade people. And it's very sad. Let me just say, man, sending lots of love and healed energy to anyone who, went through trauma during that time, lost family members during that time, felt that they had to do something that they didn't want to do during that time. And if you did take one of those things and you really didn't want to, I highly, highly suggest that you do some research on heavy metal detoxes and parasite cleanses. But first start with looking into heavy metal detoxes. I am not a medical doctor. I do know a couple things about holistic health and holistic healing. I am an apothecary owner and have been studying holistic healing for 17 years, but I am not a doctor and I am not giving you medical advice. However, I am saying that if you did take one of those things and you did not want to take one of those things, or even if you took multiple of those things and you are seeing that that was not the choice that you wanted to make, there's no judgment. All I'm saying is that look into heavy metal detoxes and parasite cleanses. And I'm sending you lots of love and healed energy. But as you can see, they had got in the upper 70s% of people in the entire world. 70 some percent of people, almost 80% of the entire world. The whole world. Y'all, that is astronomical. And it's a bit frightening when you think about that type of power. The power to take away, or the power to take away the feeling of choice. See, people felt they didn't even have a choice. They felt they had to wear these and they had to take these in order to get back to normal, or to not harm other people, or to not be harmed themselves, because they were persuaded and coerced to have their choices changed. Because think about it this way. On a regular day, in a regular, winter, where we're seeing what we normally see, flu, couple, like what, between 200,000 and 300,000 people unalive from the flu every year. We see people get the common cold. That's, people walking around coughing, sniffling. We see this, obviously we don't see people doing it a lot, and we would hope people would stay home when they're not feeling well, but people don't always stay home. And sometimes people have to go, they don't have a choice. Some people don't, or they don't feel like they have a choice. There we go. Because everyone always has a choice, but some people feel like they don't have a choice. They feel like they have to continue to go about their life not feeling well. Although I would say, make the choice to stay home so you can heal yourself and be healthy. That's more important. But anyways, so, would people have made those same choices if the news wasn't broadcasting every single day fear-mongering headlines about cases, numbers, you know, so many things that they got called out on for too. Let's talk about the fake news ads and the fake videos that were going around, and the fake headlines and the fake news reports, like all of these things that they were lying about, and that were called out and shown to be lies later on, and even sometimes within the week. If they weren't constantly shoving that down people's throats, do you think that those numbers would be the same? Do you think that it would still have been 70 some percent of the world that took that thing? Do you think that people would have been walking around like this and putting these on their children? Or how about this? How about putting these on your children and then sending them to school for 8 hours a day? Your children whose minds are still developing, and they're now being blocked from their oxygen flow. Because there was real scientists, not the ones that are paid by the GOV, but real scientists that actually study these things because they love science, not because they're paid to say certain things, who proved how dangerous these were and how they weren't actually doing anything good or helping anyone in any way, shape, or form. Not to mention when these were made from this material, like, it's comical. Like, that in and of itself is pure comedy. Pure comedy. Like, man, they had people doing the craziest things, all out of fear. Because fear is so powerful that it can persuade someone's choice. But why would someone want to persuade your choice and be willing to go to the lengths of utilizing fear to persuade your choice? That's what you have to look at. Whenever someone is trying to persuade your choice one way or the other, and when they're using firm, tough tactics like fear or physical force, anger, things of this nature, things that make you not feel good and make you feel like you have to do something or something terrible could happen, you really have to look and see, why would they be doing this? What is the perceived outcome, the wanted outcome? Who wins? Who gains to win from this? Who and what do they gain to win? You really have to start asking yourself these questions and doing a little bit of research. And I'm talking about this on every scale of your life, even down to friendships and business partnerships. If you have somebody who's really trying to pressure you into making a certain move in a sale, like, let's say you and your business partner are looking to expand and you're looking at buildings, and this person is really, really, really persuading you heavy to try to get you and your business partner to buy this building or to get in this place. And you have to wonder, why are they trying so hard to get you and your business partner to take on this building? What is it about that building? Or what does that person have to gain? Or what is the real scenario? Because anytime someone is trying to really, really pressure and persuade your power of choice, there's a reason. There's a reason. And so my goal, or my hope for you, is that you feel inspired to pay attention to those things, and that you will see that next time someone's trying to force your hand in something, you will be able to go, hang on a second, let me just step back from this for a moment and see, what is the reason for pushing my hand like this? What is the point behind so much pressure? Why do they want me to make a certain choice? Because the choice they want you to make will always be clear. Remember, during the CV-19 era, they really, really pressured people to do certain things. And they made it very clear what those choices they wanted you to make were. Because it was like, if you didn't do this, then you're a grandma unaliver. Or if you didn't do this, then you don't care about other people. Like, they would really try to make you feel like you were just a piece of shit who gave zero fucks about anyone but yourself if you did not bend to their demands, and they made it clear what it was that they wanted you to do. And that as soon as you did that, everything would go back to normal. It was like it was a very clear and distinct threat in a sense, if you would like, if you will, to say that like it's like if you ever want to see your normal again, you better do this, you know? And that is a really, really good way to persuade people's choice. Your power of choice, your choice is so powerful that they will do things to fear you into persuading you into making choices that you would not normally make, because they know they can do that with certain things. So knowing that now, and having gone through those types of scenarios that we went through in that situation, that can really open our eyes up to, should other situations arise. And it may not be the same type of scenario, who knows with them, right? But whatever type of situation arises in the future for humanity as a whole, we can see that if they're trying to pressure us into doing one thing or another, or persuading our choices, and they're using things like fear, then you can stop for a second and go, no, I'm not going to let them fear me into this. I'm actually going to see, what is it that they want from me, and why? Why do they want this from me? Who stands to gain from this scenario? Like, that's what you want to know. When you find out who stands to gain from a scenario, it's much easier to see why they want you to do a certain thing. It's much easier to see the plot when you can step back from all the pressure that they're trying to put on you with the fear and the whatever. Because, the scenarios can be different. But when you step back from that, and you don't allow the emotion that they're trying to place on you to override your processing skills, you know what I mean? For you to be able to step back and say, okay, why are they saying these things? Why are they making these types of pressure? Why are they pushing so hard? Anytime someone is pushing you that hard, you have to step back from the scenario and observe. What is going on? Where does this lead to? And a lot of times you can find your answer when you follow the money. When you follow the trail, who stands to gain the most from this pressure that's being applied? Should I give in? And you can do that in every scenario in your life, whether it's friends, business, family, whatever. The GOV and their crazy scenarios. Definitely with them, definitely use that tactic with them. Definitely use let me step back for a moment and assess the situation here. Assess what's happening, assess who stands to gain from this. And can I even tell what they might gain from this? If we really okay, we can look back now and say, oh, I see why. Some of us knew at the time and we're trying to tell people that, but they didn't want to listen to us. But we can all now look back and say, oh, we see what they stood to gain. They stood to gain a whole shit ton of fucking money. They stood to gain control, because they were able to unalive a whole lot of people, and also make some people actually injured or sick or whatever, to they're not even their full capacity anymore because of the thing that they put into themselves. And a lot of money was made in that scenario. And when you think about the injuries that were created from certain things, and when you think about also these created injuries, ringing, when you think about the people who, because of that, all of those things, more money, and long-term effects of money, because there's going to be more people who are going to probably unalive because of that thing, and also more people who may come out with some type of injury that's going to cost money, and it's going to make them go into these, see these doctors and specialists and all these things and run all these tests and blah, trying to figure out what happened or where did this come from, because they can't figure it out. They don't know. You know, that is just more money, more and more money for them to continue to get. Not only that, but they have some people who are reoccurring this thing I don't even know how often they have it going, but they're doing this all the time. So like the chance of them having something happen to them every time they do that is greater and greater. And they stand to gain so much from that whole process, because now they've created customers for life in all of these different categories. The people who they don't have a customer for life in that, but they have them until they all croak off, I guess. Um, and also, excuse me, they have customers for life on the people who got injuries from these. They have for as long as they're alive. They have customers for as long as they're alive that keep wanting to take them, because they've got all these people, in these different levels of it. And that's why they persuaded your choice so hard. They had a determined outcome that they wanted to see happen, and they knew that if they used certain tools, they could persuade your choice. So, let me check my notes real quick. Okay, so those are the ways let's see, we talked about the illusion of choice, the power of choice, how they use it against us. That's how they use their choice against us. They use it to their advantage and try to take away our actual choices. Like they want you to feel like you don't have a choice. That's why they persuade and curve your choice to like, this is the only choice. This is the only choice. This is the only choice. Any other choice is just blasphemy, like inhumane, right? So how do we take our power back, right? That is really the question, and that's the ultimate goal. How do we take our power back? Well, we take our power back by taking back our choice and not allowing them to y'all not allowing them to use those tactics and those tools against us. Like, again, like I was talking about earlier, if you can step back from a scenario and say, okay, what is happening here? Is this a real scenario that I actually need to have this level of urgency for? Or is someone trying to persuade my choice right now? Because I know my choice is powerful. So if I choose to say no to something, and you choose to say no to something, and he chooses to say no to something, and that group of people over there, we all band together and say no to something, that's a whole lot more powerful than just Melody doing it on her own, right? Or just you doing it on your own. So that's why our power of choice is so important, and why they try to make us all go into one direction, because the more people they can get into the one direction, the easier it is to try to override the tiny group that's going in the other direction. So the more that we can choose to use our own thought process and decide for ourselves by taking in evidence and taking in our own account for experiences that we've had in life, things that we've seen. Now we've all got a really great experience that we just all went through. And I mean, some people may still be trying to debate or deny what has happened. And I get that. Some of it could be programming. Some of it could be that that person is afraid to admit it because of whatever reason. Sometimes people fear admitting things because it can it means that everything that they said or did was a lie, and that's not easy to admit. Also, it's not easy to accept sometimes. But I will say that I think the majority of people now, even if they were affected by it in a negative way, are able to look at that situation and say, yeah, it's obvious that there were some really great clues there to tell us that we were being duped, that we were being pressured, that we were being cattle like uh, um uh, herded into certain choices. And we were, we were, we were definitely being herded into certain choices. And so being able to know that next time gives us back our power of choice. Being able to say, okay, we have had experiences now where we've seen our choices are tempted to be taken away. Another great one. Oh my God, we could go all the way back to 9/11. They did the same thing there where they tried to fear people. But let's even go to just recently with the IDs with the star on it, the real ID. Remember, they tried to fear people into getting the real ID because if you didn't get the real ID, you wouldn't be able to fly, you wouldn't be able to travel at all. You have to have a real ID. Da, 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 da. But even from their own mouths, they told us you didn't need to have a real ID if you have a passport because a passport actually supersedes the real ID. And also, you actually didn't need to have a real ID if you had a driver's license and another form of ID. You I actually personally know multiple people who have traveled since this whole thing of like you have to have one and people didn't comply. Enough people didn't comply to where they could really pressure people. Good job, y'all. Um they are letting people just fly. You can just go and fly. Like they're not even there. No real ID has to be shown. People are just flying. I mean, we're able to fly still because they're starting to take that choice away too. But as you can see, they tried to fear people into their power of choice on what type of ID they carry. Because here's the thing is if they can fear you into that choice, they can fear you into another choice and they can fear you into another choice and another choice and another choice until they have feared you into you have no more freedom. They have feared you into no, there's no more choices left to make because you don't have any more choices. There isn't a choice to give. They've taken all the choices. If you allow them to, they will fear you into giving up your power of choice in every avenue possible until you're not even deciding what you're wearing when you walk out the house anymore. You probably don't even get to decide what you're wearing for pajamas because everybody's wearing the same shit. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if you allow it, they will take your power of choice in every avenue possible. But you always have the choice to make your own choice. You always have the choice. Is the choice always easy? No, but you always have the choice. And in some of those scenarios, for example, when the CV19 thing was going on, people did lose their jobs because they made the choice to not wear these or not get these. And you want to know what? Ultimately, what happened was they won. They win. They win because they didn't have to take that and they left some place that didn't value them enough to say, you know what? We're not going to force that. Excuse me. We're not going to force that on our people. The company didn't even value the people enough to try to advocate or stand up for them because the company too had a choice. Let's be real. But the company allowed themselves to be persuaded by fear. When it comes to your own life, though, you are the only one who has control and is responsible for you, your life, your choices, your happiness. And ultimately, at the end of the day, when you make a choice for you, even when it feels like it's not an easy choice, you made the best choice possible. Because when you choose you over someone who's trying to fear you, persuade you, coerce you into making a choice that is not good for you or that you're unsure of, you win every time. You beat the game. You are then allowed the opportunity to make different choices. You see, because the people who felt like they didn't have a choice and they took certain things, they can't untake that. They don't get to uncheck that box. The people who didn't take it, and now it's been some years and some research has been done and we know more information, they still have the choice that if they wanted to go out there and do that, which for real, I can't imagine that someone who didn't do it then is going to do it now, but that's neither here nor there. The point is that the choice is still there because they made a choice to choose for themselves what they really wanted without having the fear be the grounding and driving force behind their choice. And there may be some times in our lives where we need to do that again. For example, like I said, it just happened with this real ID shit, and people stood up to that. And as you can see right now in Italy and France and the UK and some other places as well, people are fighting right now in the streets. They are protesting. People are not going to work because they're told, "Oh, if you don't take this digital ID, you don't have a job." And they're like, "Cool. Guess I don't have a fucking job anymore then. Bye." Do you think that's an easy choice? Yes and no. Is it is it an easy choice? It's not, but it is at the same time. It might make them have to face some challenges, but what's a bigger challenge? Choosing to go in fear and make a choice based on being afraid and fear of losing a job that doesn't value enough to give you the option to choose what's best for you in a scenario. They're trying to force you with fear. So they don't appreciate you, they don't respect you. And you would make a choice that you cannot ever check that box from now. Like when if you don't do it, you can wait a little while, see what happens. And you still have the option, should the moment arise, where you do want to be a part of such thing. Now, that's a different choice when you make it in a responsive way as opposed to a reactive way. See, that goes back to the episode where we're talking about reaction versus response. See, if you see that you're being pressured into taking the digital ID, for example, like they are in some countries right now, if you felt like you were being pressured to do that and you felt like it was just like, you could step back for a second and say, okay, why are they pushing us so hard for this? Who stands to gain? What do they stand to gain? What does this do for the regular person? Does this take away from me? Is this harmful for me? Is this somehow going to hinder my everyday life? Like there's so many questions that you want to ask to make sure that it's not harming you and it's not good for somebody else, but bad for humanity. Do you see what I'm saying? Because a lot of times that's what they're doing, is they're doing things that are bad for us, harmful for us, take away our freedoms, but benefits them. And as you can see, there's a lot of countries right now who are standing against that. And there may be a time where we have to do the same. So, will you stand for what you believe in and what you want and what you think is best for you? Or will you allow them to pressure you, persuade you, coerce you with fear into making a rash, reactive choice without having the experience and proper knowledge to back that choice up? Because you see, once they take something away and once they replace something with something else, it doesn't go back. The upgrade doesn't get downgraded. They're not going to one day be like, you know what? You're right. This whole digital ID thing is silly. We don't want to have full control over what you do and where you are and being able to shut off your identity and shut off your bank accounts. We don't want to do all that. You know what? Let's go back to regular IDs. Let's go back to driver's license. They're not going to do that. As a matter of fact, what they're going to do is be like, okay, now that we got you to say yes to that, that was pretty easy. A fear. Once we feared you into that, and we feared you into this, and we feared you into that. Okay, now let's see what else can we fear them into. Okay, do this or else. It's just the next level of do this or else. It doesn't stop at that. The more power you give them of your choice, the more they will take. So, in order to maintain your power of choice, you have to use your power of choice. Use it. How do we take our power back? Use your fucking choice. Use your choice. I would say also use your voice, but even if you can't use your voice, use your choice. Your choice is your voice. For real, though. Use your choice. Use your power of choice to do what is best for you. And that's not my choice to make. That's not anyone else's choice to make. That's your choice to make. Don't allow them to push you, persuade you, coerce you, or fear you into making a choice, the choice they want you to make. Instead, use your power of choice by stepping back, analyzing the scenario, looking to see the outcomes, looking to see who stands to gain should you make the choice that's clearly being pressured onto people. The pros, the cons, the otherwise. Educate yourself, research, talk to your higher source, your higher power, pray, whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? Meditate, talk to the cards, talk to your crystal ball, ask the animal spirits, whatever it is that you do. Ask the river, so, whatever it is that you do. But take your time, because here's the thing is they're trying to pressure you. Do it now. Do it now. You got to do it now. No, you have to do it right now. No, you got to do it now. No. Do it now. If somebody is doing that to you, baby, and you're feeling like, oh my God, I got to make this choice. I got to make it right now because, no, you should never feel like that making a choice. A choice should be made in a state of calm and ease. A choice should be made in a state of relaxation, in a state not of high, extreme high, or a state of extreme low, but the state of that stagnant point of peace, when you have a clear mind and a clear thought process. Because that's why they bombard you so much with all of these things, because they want you to make a choice in the state of chaos. Because people are more inclined to make the choice that they want you to make, as opposed to the best choice or the choice that's best for you or a more healthy choice. Which is why it's so chaotic, which is why it's so pressured, you know? But if you can step back from that and make your choices in a state of calm and peace and ease after having evaluated things and get your own research and get your own evidence and decide for yourself what seems like the best choice of action, then you are taking your power back, because then you are able to not only make a choice, but make a choice from a state of peace, a state of calm, and from an educated standpoint. And that is the power that you have. That is the power. That is how you take your power back, is by utilizing your choice the best way that you can. Not in the heightened moment of, oh my God, but in the after you've had a chance to process, in that peaceful moment, that still moment of feeling like you're in a good place to make the correct choice. They don't want you to do that. And so when you do that, when you say fuck what they want and you just make that choice for yourself, that's when you truly take your power back. That's when you truly take your power back. You're utilizing your choice in the best way possible. And that's what we have to do. It's time for us to step back from scenarios and make choices based on evidence that tells us they are clearly trying to push me this way. And I don't know why yet, but it can't be good, because it's really high pressure. High pressure sales are never going to be the sale that you want. They're trying to push you to buy that car for that price right now. Hurry up, blah, 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 because there's something wrong with it. That's usually what the high pressure is for, is because the choice they want you to make, the people who are trying to pressure you, it's not the right one. It's the most detrimental for you, but it's the best for them, with the greatest outcome and the greatest benefit for them. So that's how you take your power choice back, is to step back from a scenario and choose wisely. And I hope that this has helped somebody today and given you some insight on a few things, like how we have our choices every day in everyday life being kind of persuaded and coerced. Even your boss will do stuff like that to you. For example, like, reviews are coming up and everybody wants a raise. Excuse me, but your bosses kind of treat that like how parents used to try to treat Christmas, where it's like they dangle it in front of your face like a carrot, because they want you to act certain ways or to make certain choices. And if you don't do those things, then you're not going to get that, So you'll see it in your everyday life. And I hope that I was able to inspire you and open up your mind a little bit to some other ways that maybe you didn't see before, where choices are kind of put on us in ways that people, organizations, whatever, try to pressure you into making choices that may not be in your best interest and may not really be what you want. It happens often. I, really hope that you will see now how much it happens around us, because there may be some choices coming up for all of us to make that may not necessarily be the easiest choices for us to make, but they're important. And so us being diligent with our evidence seeking and us being mindful to make choices from a responsive act as opposed to a reactive act, a state, a responsive state, as opposed to a reactive state. The importance of that, and then just being able to really do that, to really hold ourselves accountable in those situations. That's what I hope for us all, to just step back and be able to make the right choices when the time comes. So I love y'all so much, man. Gratitude for being here on this beautiful Monday for the juice. Thursday, you guys, we have a village meeting. I am looking for a space to host some events. If you weren't here in the beginning of the show, I'm just going to wrap up with that as well. I'm looking for a space to host some events. Not super huge events, and these aren't like rager events. These are healing, community building, chill events, spoken word, interpretive dance would be really lit. I'm not going to lie. Spoken word, poetry, people who do some different healing modalities will be coming through. I know we have a muscle therapist who is going to bring her chair, and doing donation-based muscle therapy modalities. And there'll be other people. I do Reiki. I also have an apothecary with natural products, so I'll bring some of that type of stuff. And other people will bring other things too. We have other village members who sell THC products and things of that nature. So we're looking for a space that is 420 friendly, and would accept us in there. To have a peaceful, positive community building events. So if you know anyone, or if you're somebody who has a venue, or know someone who has a venue, or of a venue, please feel free to reach out to me. I am Melody Waters on Facebook. Everywhere you can find me, Melody Waters, or I am Melody Waters. I'm pretty easy to find. I look like this in all my pictures. And pretty much if you start typing in Melody Waters, I pop up everywhere on all social media platforms, and even on the Googles. You can even Google me. I'm on the Google Maker. So yeah, hit me up. And also down here, there's an email address right here. You can email me if you know someone, or if you are someone who has that, because I would love to work with you. So yeah. So this Thursday, I'm going to get back to everyone on what room we're going to be in. I ran into a slight snag. I didn't realize that the library only allowed me to get a room 2 times out of a month, apparently. So we may have to either switch libraries and then do 2 here and 2 there. Or I'm going to see maybe possibly one of our other village members can put it in their name. Well, I don't know. We'll figure it out, and I'll let y'all know where exactly we're at before Thursday, though. So I hope y'all have a fabulous week. I love you guys so much. Oh my gosh. Wait, I don't celebrate holidays. Is this Thursday the holiday, or is that next week? That's next week, Thursday. Okay, never mind. OT Swayze, peace, God. Gratitude. Appreciate, love you, sir, so much. Let's wrap the show up with one of your songs. Yeah, we're gonna end with some OT Swayze tonight. Let's see. All she needs. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'll let you know for sure about Thursday, and otherwise I will see you guys next week on Monday. I love y'all so much. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your week. I hope it's everything you want it to be or better. I do have an apothecary, you guys. Oh, I should have brought my earrings. Yeah, I made my very first pair of feather earrings. Everybody gave me so much love for the one feather earring that I wrapped, and I got excited and showed everyone. I actually made a set and I made a couple other singles. So like I do have the very first set. Like, I don't know, anyone who knows me knows that my stuff always matches. It coordinates, but it does not match. So the set, they coordinate, but they're not the exact same. So yeah, if you want me to wrap something for you, let me know, because I make copper jewelry. So like the earrings that I made, they're wrapped with copper, and the stem piece is copper. I made like this. I made this. I make these for hair, and I make smaller ones. I make all different types of little hair things. I make bracelets. I make necklaces, rings, all kinds of stuff. So if you need some copper in your life, let me know. I also have an apothecary, y'all. So if you are looking for gift baskets, like for, if you do celebrate holidays and you're going to see family and you want a gift basket to give, like a hostess gift or something, hit me up, because I have all natural products, soaps, body butters, like beard oils, beard butters, hair oil, hair butter, bath salts, room spray, body spray, gym spray for the gear at the gym, so you don't have to keep using that super toxic shit they want everybody to spray on stuff. I have some that's non-toxic, all natural. It's only essential oils. Everything I make is all natural, non-toxic, all essential oils. So if anyone's ever interested in stuff like that, hit me up, y'all. I make tea blends, all kinds of stuff. So your girl's out here mad talented, okay? And I'm still a videographer and graphic designer, so. But anyways, I love y'all so much. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you guys next Monday right here, same juice time, same juice channel. If you're in Minnesota, come on out to the village meeting. I would love to have you be part of our village. I would love to have you be part of this community that we're building. Like, we're doing some really awesome shit. And if you want to be part of the events to where you want to come on and put your stuff out for a vendor, or you have a healing modality you'd like to share, if you're a poet, if you're a spoken word artist, whatever, hit me up. If you have an idea, if you're a mime or something, I don't know, if you have some kind of cool idea too, hit me up. Something that you think might be in that realm of, you know what I'm saying, and may resonate and align with that. I would love to have you be part of it and, bring your cool thing. As of right now, I'm not trying to charge people to bring their modalities and vendings. I just want people to connect and build community and sell their shit and heal people and shit like that. So hit me up, y'all. I love y'all. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you guys next week on Monday. I'll see y'all Thursday if you're in Minnesota. We're going to wrap shit up tonight with OT Swayze. All she wants is all she wants. Hang on. All she needs. All she needs right here on the juice, y'all. Love you guys so much. Peace.
Red tech like beans. Shorty DM me right after I leave. Shorty know that I'm all she need. Can't play both sides, fucking with me. Red tech like beans. Shorty DM me right after I leave. Shorty know that I'm all she need. Can't play both sides, fucking with me. Is you down to ride to the well blow, baby? Don't go crazy, I'll be by your side, just hold patient. I want this to last, so let's take it slow, baby. Just know, baby, want you on myself for sure, baby. I've been making moves just to make it happen. Been him, ain't no need for asking. If it ain't love, then I'm past it. If it's bad for me, then it's dropped like a habit. No, I can't have it.